The Pennsylvania Railroad K4 was built in 1914 in Altoona and Baldwin Locomotive Works and was the line's premier passenger hauling steam locomotive from 1914 till the PRR's end of steam in 1957. The K4 was designed under the supervision of PRR Chief of Motive Power J.T. Wallace, who was assisted by Chief Mechanical Engineer Alfred W. Gibbs and Mechanical Engineer Axel Vogt. The engine was designed as a pair of classes with the L1 Mikado. The two designs shared a boiler among other features. Inspiration of the locomotive derived from the experimental K29 as well as Gibbs' successful Atlantics. The Atlantics is where the K4 inherited its heat-treated, lightweight machinery, its cast steel KW trailing truck, as well as much of its appearance. The K4 had an increased grate area from 55 to 70 square feet. With the boiler barrel fatter than previous classes and the increase in heating surface and boiler size, the class had better than normal steam generation capability. The 1914 prototype carried equipment that was more conservative, which included a screw reverser, a small 70 P70 tender holding only 7,000 US gallons of water, 12.5 tons of coal which was set up for hand firing, a wooden cowcatcher pilot, a square-cased old-fashioned headlight, and piston tail rods. Luckily enough, all of this conservative tech would soon be replaced with versions that would make the locomotive run much more efficiently. Due to extensive testing, 3 years elapsed until the production examples were built. Another reason for the 3-year time period was wartime necessitating priority of construction of the L1 Mikados for freight hauling. It wasn't until 1917 that Altoona's Juniata shops started production of K4s in very large numbers. The first 168 locomotives carried scattered road numbers across a wide range. Though this was traditional for the PRR, any locomotive built after 1920 were consecutively numbered. Over the years, several of the K4 fleet was put under several kinds of different modifications, including streamlining, boosters, roller bearings, and poppet valves. The first K4 to be streamlined was number 3786. Nicknamed the Torpedo, the casing had most of the functionality of the locomotive. In 1940 and 1941, locomotives 1120, 2665, 3678, and 5338 were streamlined with a simpler, closer-fitting casings that hid less of the workings of the engine. Many have compared the casings of the ones used in Henry Dreyfuss's NYC Hudsons. The last K4 to receive streamlining was number 1188 and was only given a boiler-top skyline casing, resulting in the nickname the Skyline. Unfortunately, only 2 K4s have survived into preservation today. Number 3750 is sitting on display at the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania in good old Strasburg, PA. Number 1361 was set to be restored by the Railroaders Memorial Museum in Altoona at the restoration shops at Steamtown National Historic Site. Due to difficulty overseeing the work, Altoona halted the restoration until the shop was to be completed. As of 2008, however, the locomotive is sitting in pieces in a corner of Steamtown's roundhouse, leading the museum to announce cancellation of the project in 2010. They stated that when the locomotive was to arrive, they would only restore it in cosmetic order. Despite the announcement published to papers, museum personnel stated that though the idea of cosmetic restoration was discussed, it is still intended to restore the engine to working order. With the announcement of Norfolk and Southern restarting their steam program, there exists, even if it is a little glimmer, a hope for a future with a PRR K4 under steam on the high iron. Time to compare the game design to real life. As we can see, game devs are once again loyal to details as we compare and contrast. The outside looks spot on, with the game being made out of a little darker material and darker shade, making pictures almost impossible. Let's compare the cab. From images I have found of the K-class cabs, they have definitely simplified things here. Only one set of gauges on the driver's side, and more knobs than you know what to do with. One thing added to this cab that I am not sure if it was around in the days of the K4 is this stack of lights here. They are on both sides of the cab and they relay the next signal you are approaching. If this is a real part of the design, then the 50s were more advanced than I thought. Next up is the whistle, and as you can tell it sounds accurate. Very loud, very strong. Just the type of noise you would expect from this beautiful behemoth. Finally, we have the speed test. Now I know what you all are thinking. Why are we testing an American engine on a British line? Simple. Port Road is a nice level line, giving the engines the best conditions for reaching top speed. While I haven't been able to find a recorded top speed for real-life locomotives, we do know that it is a passenger engine meant for speed and timetables, meaning that 95 is well within the realms of possibility. All in all, I mark the PRR K4 as one of the best engines to purchase on Train Simulator.